Hare Krishna. I welcome all of you for our class. And we have moved the class now to Saturday from Sunday. The objective of this class is to enable reading of the shlok, to understand the meaning of the shlok, and to help understand the basic philosophy of Gita. Last time we completed chapter 4, and today we will start with the Gita Mahatmya from Padma Puran for chapter 4. So all the Gita Mahatmya is from Padma Puran, and what happens is it is Parvati ji asking Shankar ji or Mahadev ji to talk about the glory of Gita, and Shankar ji narrates the story. So what happened is Shankar ji starts narrating the story of the 4th chapter. Once there was a great yogi called Bharat in Varanasi, which is Banaras, and he used to stay in Kashi Vishwanath temple, and he used to recite chapter 4 of Gita daily. Now once he went to visit some temple outside Varanasi, and on the way he slept in between two bear trees. You know what is bear? Bear is jujubi. So he actually slept between two bear trees, and in such a way that his head was touching one tree and the leg was touching the second tree. Now what happened is, after that he woke up in the morning, he recited the chapter 4 of Gita there, and he continued with his journey. Now after a few days, what happened? Both the bear trees actually dried, and they actually was born as daughters in a Brahmin's family. Now after some days, these two daughters, they grew up around 8 years, and they noticed the Bharat Rishi coming from somewhere, and they immediately recognized that he is the one because of which they actually got liberated. So they stopped the Rishi, they welcomed the yogi, and started welcomed him, and thanked him for helping them to get liberated. Now Bharat yogi was very surprised. He was very surprised because he was totally unaware about the two girls, and he asked, what happened? Who are you? So they narrated, they said, because of you, we got liberated from the tree yoni, and we got the form of a human yoni, in the human yoni. He said, but I do not remember any such incident because of which this can happen. They said, yes, I know. Now let me tell you the story because of which we became the bay tree, and how you helped us to get liberated to the human yoni. So now the two girls, they started telling their story to Bharat Rishi. So they said that once in near Godavari, there was a great tapasvi called Satyatapa. He was a great tapasvi, and he used to do great austerity on the banks of river Godavari. He was so austere that Brahmaji used to come and visit him every day. And still, initially he used to welcome, but later Brahmaji also never wanted to disturb him, so he continued with his austerity. Now seeing that, we all know that Indra always get scared. So Indra started getting scared that Satyatapa is doing so much austerity. He was scared about his throne. It may not happen that he wins Brahmaji and asks for my throne. So what Indra did was, he called the Apsaras and sent the Apsaras to disturb Satyatapa. Now, one of the two who were actually given this job was these two girls. And these two Apsaras went and tried their best along with all other Apsaras. They tried their best in all other forms that they could do to disturb the yogi. But Satyatapa was such a big yogi, he was so much austere, he was so much busy in his tapasya that he did not get disturbed. Finally, when they could not do anything, but they made the tapasvi angry, and he cursed them to go and become the bay tree, jujube tree. And then these two Apsara went asking for forgiveness, saying that it is like because of some command we are doing it. Is not on our own wish we are doing it. So Satyatapa Rishi understood that, and also told them that, okay, you will get liberated when Bharat Rishi will come near you and will chant the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And that's what happened. And because of which they got liberated. And Bharat Muni, when he heard the story, he was very happy. And the girls thanked the Bharat Rishi and also continued chanting the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And finally, they also got liberated from the human yoni. Yeah. So whoever reads, recites chapter 4 of Bhagavad Gita daily, we can the person can get liberated if he's also following other things. So now today we have met after a long time. So what I decided is I will quickly take you through the summary of the first 4 chapter that we have finished in Bhagavad Gita before we start the 5th chapter. So now let's look at the first chapter. What happened in first chapter? The first chapter of Bhagavad Gita is called Arjun Observes the Army. So we all know what happened. Krishna and the Pandavas, they tried their best to avoid the war of Kurukshetra, but still finally they had no choice but to enter into the war with Kauravas. Yeah, that's what happened. And now, before the war started, Arjun wanted to observe the armies on the Kaurava side, who all are there. So he asked Krishna, why don't you take the chariot and put it in the middle of both the armies, so I can see who all are there who are ready to fight with me. So what happened? Now, as soon as he saw, and Krishna very smartly went and put the chariot exactly in front of Bhishma Pitama and Dronacharya. Now, looking at them, Arjun started, had compassion. Yeah. Arjun, the first chapter, Arjun started compassion. And he finally gave 4 reasons why he will not fight. And that is what the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita is. So Arjun, when he saw Dronacharya and Bhishma Pitama in front of them, he says, how can I kill them? So he was extremely compassionate seeing them, and he said, I cannot fight. And not only him, but all other relatives. Then what happened? He started wondering, what will happen? If I start fighting, all of them will die. And when they die, with whom will I enjoy? Because for enjoyment, you need friends and relatives. When everyone will die, then how will I enjoy? That was the second reason Arjun gave for not fighting. Third reason he said, if I kill my everyone, what will happen? I'll get sinful reaction. What will happen? I'll get sinful reaction. And the fourth reason he gave to Krishna was that all the men are standing here. If I kill them, what will happen to their families? The women will become widow. What will happen to their kid? Who will explain them what to do? And then the entire family system will get destroyed. So these are the 4 reasons that Arjun gave to Krishna in the first chapter, and he put down his bow and said, I am not going to fight. Yeah, this is what happened in the first chapter. Then listening that, now Sanjay at a far place was narrating what he was seeing in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, narrating the whole story to Dhritarashtra, right? And Dhritarashtra got very happy and hopeful that wow, now if Arjun doesn't fight, it means victory is of if a Kauravas. It means I will retain the kingdom and it will be for Kauravas. But Sanjay smiled and said, let me tell you what is happening and how Krishna is inspiring Arjun to fight, and that is the second chapter. So Arjun continued his lamentation, and finally he said, I am totally confused and I don't know what to do, and now I am actually surrendering myself to you, and I am becoming your shishya. I am becoming your shishya. Please guide me. What is the right thing to do? Now till then, Krishna had not spoken except for 2 words in chapter 1. He had not spoken. But once Arjun surrendered to Krishna and became his disciple, he agreed to take up the position of Guru and started speaking the Bhagavad Gita. That is what is Bhagavad Gita, right? He started speaking it. So he gives 4 concepts in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. The first concept that he explains is on Gyan Yoga. Is Gyan Yoga. What is Gyan Yoga? He explained to Arjun that we are not this body, but we are soul. And this soul is a part and parcel of Krishna, and it travels through the journey. And just like we change our dresses, similarly, when similarly this body is our dress of the soul, and it has its duration, and when it becomes old, it will also change. The soul will leave this dress and go to the new dress. This is how the journey of the soul is. So that is Gyan Yoga. Gyan Yoga means knowledge of body and soul. Soul is different. What is our real identity? We are actually souls. We are not this body, right? That is the first concept that Krishna explained to Arjun. The second, then he said, because now Arjun was totally depressed, and he said, I want to go to forest, right? That's what he said. So now Arjun showed carrot to him. Krishna showed carrot to Arjun. He said, he talked about sakam karma. Sakam karma means karma. Karma is work, and sakam means do the fruitive activities, enjoying the fruitive activities. Sakam, kam is activities, the results of the activity, but it is for enjoyment. So he said that no, you have to do your duty and also enjoy the results of it, and to enjoy the results of it. That is sakam karma. He talked about sakam karma yoga. Then he talked about nishkam karma yoga. So slowly he started raising the bar for Arjun. So after body and soul, he talked about sakam karma yoga, and then he talked about the nishkam karma yoga. Nishkam means let do your duty without any attachment to the result. Be detached to the results. That is the next step he explained to Arjun. And finally, he talked about the qualities of a sthit pragya. What are the qualities of a person who is of transcendental nature? He is a sthit pragya, right? Now, after telling all these things, in one of the shlok, Krishna tells Arjun that you should keep all abominable actions far by buddhi yoga. Now, this is what Arjun questioned Krishna. He said, you are asking me to keep all the abominable activities far away by buddhi yoga. Then, and fighting and killing is the worst thing I can do. That is the most abominable activity. Then how can I fight? Why are you asking me to fight? So he asked question to Krishna in chapter 3, saying that what is good, renunciation or action? Because you are talking about abominable activity. If I do action, I'm going to kill. So that is abominable activity. So I would prefer to renounce and go to forest. He's still in that mindset, right? So he asked this, what is better? Is it renunciation or work, right? So in the third chapter, Krishna continued with Nishkam Karma Yoga. He said, no, you have to do your duty, but you cannot go for a premature renunciation. Unless you are fully purified and all your senses are controlled, and you have really if you go for premature renunciation, what will happen? Renunciation means leave everything and go to a secluded place, a forest or somewhere, and you are only absorbed in your meditation or gaining knowledge. But he said, if you're not ready, if your soul is not ready, if you're not purified enough and you do that, then your desires, your sense will lose its control, and you will become like a pretender. Right? Down the line, after some time, like if Arjun would have gone to forest, because he's a fighter, he would have lost, he would have gone there and started fighting something else, because that is not his true nature. Right? So he says, no, premature renunciation will cause what? It'll become a pretender. So don't do that. And then he said that he talked about Gyan Yoga, Nishkam Karma Yoga ends into Gyan. He said, when you keep on doing work, you keep on getting with detachment, you keep on getting purified. And when you are fully purified, when you're really purified, you actually move to Gyan. Then you know that you are not this body, but your soul. And then you start working. Your activity should be focused more from a soul, right? And then Arjun said, and Krishna said, that even if you are qualified for renunciation, but still you should do Nishkam Karma Yoga. And he, to set the right example for people, he gave example of Janak Maharaj. He said, imagine Janak Maharaj. He is the king whose daughter is Sita, but still he is totally renounced. But then when you are a leader, to set the example, because others are not as mature as you, they will see what the king is doing, and accordingly the praja will follow. So you have to set the right example of doing your duty without attachment. That is what he explained. And finally, he said that what actually brings us down from, doesn't help us to move towards spiritual knowledge, or is a barrier to gain knowledge, spiritual knowledge, and move in the spiritual journey. It is lust. It is anger. It is lust. And this is a formidable enemy. And we have to control lust by our spiritual power. If we can do that, then only we will be able to purify ourselves and move forward in our spiritual journey. And then he said, so, and this can be done by knowing the transcendental knowledge. And the fourth chapter, he gave the transcendental knowledge to Arjun. Now, what is fourth chapter? What he started with? The fourth chapter, Krishna started saying that this transcendental knowledge has actually comes from me, and it flows in parampara. It has started from me and it flows in parampara, right? And we should take the knowledge from parampara. He talked about and then he talked about in the ninth shloka, fourth chapter, that my appearance and my activities are divine, and anyone who understands that will get liberated. Anyone who understands that will get liberated. And then he also explains what is karma, what is vikarma, and what is akarma. Karma is all pious activity. Vikarma is all forbidden activities, vikarma. And akarma is inaction. It means all the activity that when you offer it to God, then our activity gets nullified. We don't get a positive or negative reaction for that. Any karma we do which is pious, we get a positive reaction. Any karma forbidden activity that we do, we get a negative reaction. And then we have to come back in this world in the cycle of birth and death. Yeah, because we have to either enjoy for the positive karma or we have to suffer pain for the negative karma. So our life should be such that all our activities should be akarma. All our activities should be akarma. And what is akarma? Akarma activities is any activity that we do, it should be offered to God, Krishna. Whenever we are doing any activity offering to God, then all the reactions of that get nullified. Doesn't come to us. Krishna absorbs it. So we have to finally make our bank balance zero. It cannot be positive, it cannot be negative. And that is what is akarma, right? And then Krishna spoke about attaining peace by Gyan, and how we should renouncing karma by Gyan. Yeah, so this is what we have learned till now in the last fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So today I'll start the fifth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which is Karma Yoga, action in Krishna consciousness. So please, so this chapter, it's a small chapter. Fifth chapter is a small chapter. It has got 4 sections. The first section is the first slok, in which Arjun is questioning again Krishna, please explain to me sannyas or karma yoga. What should I do? Yeah, he had asked the same question in the third chapter, renunciation or work. Now here again he's asking sannyas or karma yoga. Then in second to sixth chapter, he talks about karma yoga is equal to but easier than sannyas. Then there are 2 more sections and it's a small chapter. So we go to the first slok. Arjunuvacha. Sannyasam karmanam Krishna.
Sannyasam karmanam Krishna.
Punaryogam cha shansasi.
Punaryogam cha samsasi.
Yachreya etayorekam.
Yachreya etayorekam.
Tanme bruhi sunishchitam.
Tanme bruhi sunishchitam.
Sannyasam karmanam Krishna.
Sannyasam karmanam Krishna.
Punaryogam cha shansasi.
Punaryogam cha samsasi.
Yachreya etayorekam.
Yachreya etayorekam.
Tanme bruhi sunishchitam.
Tanme bruhi sunishchitam.
Arjuna Vacha. Sannyasam karmanam Krishna.
Sannyasam karmanam Krishna.
Punaryogam cha samsasi.
Punaryogam cha shansasi.
Yachreya etayor ekam.
Yachreya etayorekam.
Tanme bruhi sunishchitam.
Tanme bruhi sunishchitam. So now let's look at the words. Sannyasam karmanam Krishna. He says sannyas is renunciation from work, karma. So karma is work. Renunciation from karma Krishna. First you are asking, renouncing the work. Punar yogam. And again, punar is again, yogam. You are asking, yoga means connecting to Krishna. Again you are asking work for devotional service. Your shansasi is praising. You are praising that. Yet shreya. Shreya is better. Which is shreya? Which is better? Etayorekam. Tell me one. Tanme bruhi means you tell me. Sunishchitam. Nishchitam means for sure. Give me one answer. What is better? Should I renounce the work or I should work in devotional service? Yeah. So please tell me what is the right thing to do. So let's read the meaning of it. Arjun said,
Arjun said,
"O Krishna,
O Krishna,
first of all, you ask me to renounce work,
first of all, you asked me to renounce work,
and then again,
and then again,
you recommend work with devotion.
you recommend work with devotion.
Now, will you kindly tell me,
Now, will you kindly tell me,
definitely,
definitely,
which of the two is more beneficial,
which of the two is more beneficial?
right?" So, this confusion that Arjun has is because of the last two shlok of the fourth chapter. So, we will go to the shlok number 4, chapter 4, shlok number 41. Yeah, it's because of the two shlok that Krishna spoke, Arjun is confused. So, let's now read this shlok 41. Yoga sanyasta karmanam
Yoga sanyasta karmanam.
Jnana sanchinna sanchayam
Jnana sanchinna samsayam.
Atmavantam na karmani
Atmavantam na karmani.
Nibaddanti dhananjaya
Nibaddanti dhananjaya.
Yoga sanyasta karmanam
Yoga sanyasta karmanam.
Jnana sanchinna sanchayam
Jnana sanchinna samsayam.
Atmavantam na karmani
Atmavantam na karmani.
Nibaddanti dhananjaya
Nibaddanti dhananjaya. Yoga sanyasta karmanam.
Yoga sanyasta karmanam
Jnana sanchinna samsayam.
Jnana sanchinna sanchayam
Atmavantam na karmani.
Atmavantam na karmani
Nibandhanti dhananjaya.
Nibandhanti dhananjaya. Now let's see what Krishna wants to say and how Arjun interpreted that. So what Krishna is saying, Yoga sanyasta karmanam. Yoga is one who is working in devotional service. Yoga is connection to God, working in devotional service. Sanyasta karmanam. And sannyas is renounce. What they renounce? Karm. Karm is also reactions of the work. So he's saying renounce the reactions of work, means detach yourselves to the work and work in devotional service. This is what Krishna is saying, right? And then he says, Jnana sanchinna sanchayam. Sanchaya is doubt. Sanchaya is doubt. And all your doubt, sanchin means cut it, you remove it. How? By jnana, by the knowledge. All your doubts you remove by knowledge. If one person is like that, then is atmavantam. Atmavantam means then he is situated in self. He is situated in self. Na karmani nibandhani dhananjay. Dhananjay is the name of Arjun. And he said, na karmani. The reactions, the nibandhanti is bondage. There will be no bondage of the reactions to such a person who is doing work like this. This is what Krishna wants to tell Arjun. Now let's read the meaning in English. One who acts in devotional service,
One who acts in devotional service,
renouncing the fruits of his actions,
renouncing the fruits of his actions,
and whose doubts have been destroyed
and whose doubts have been destroyed
by transcendental knowledge,
by transcendental knowledge,
is situated factually in the self.
is situated factually in the self.
Thus he is not bound
Thus he is not bound
by reactions of work.
by the actions of work,
O conqueror of riches.
or conqueror of riches.
Now, what Arjun understood by this? So it is, there are two parts. Contextually, how exactly he's saying. Yoga sannyasa karmanam. Now, karm, he is, instead of looking at reactions of the work, he's looking at work. So he says, sannyas karm. So leave the work, renounce the work. This is what he is understanding here. Yeah. And jnana, and so he's asking that. In the next shlok, 42 shlok, actually he also talks about get up and fight. That is what we'll read in the 42nd shlok. So he said, here you're asking me, sannyasa karma, you leave the work, renounce the work. And in the next shlok, you're also asking me, stand up and fight, so work. So what it is, I mean, you're one side you're asking me to renounce and then you're saying asking work. What exactly? So he's getting confused. Now this is contextually in these two shloks, Arjun is confused because of that. Now conceptually what is happening, how Arjun is seeing sannyas means renunciation of work. And yoga means work, actions. Now for him, there are two ways. Either there is a sannyas, renunciation, or there is a work. That is how his vision is. These are the two things he understands. To explain it better, understand one person, he understands only two colors, red and blue. Right? So he is aware about only red and blue color. Yeah. Now suppose he has got only those two colors and someone goes and says, you have two colors, but please give me violet color. Now he doesn't know that if I mix red and blue, I'll get violet. Yeah. So he is confused that I have got red and blue color. Why are you asking me for violet? Yeah. Now, from Arjun's perspective, he knows that working means it's in bondage. If I work, it is going to bind me. And renunciation means liberate. So he only understands that. When someone is talking about sannyas means it is talking about liberation. When Krishna is talking about work, it means it's bondage. So why is Krishna asking me to work in devotion and renounce in devotion? So his vision is actually narrow, and he is not able to understand the third concept of that, and that's why he's getting confused. So let's read the next shlok. Tasmad 42 shlok. Tasmad ajnana sambhuta
Tasmat Anyana Sambhutam.
hitasta gyan sinatmanah
Tastamyana Sinatmanah.
hitvainam sanchayam yogam
Chitvainam Samsayam Yogam.
uttishta bharata
Uttishta Bharata.
tasmad ajnana sambhutam
Tasmat Anyana Sambhutam.
hitastam gyana sinat atmanah
Tastamyana Sinatmanah.
chitvainam sanchayam yogam
Chitvainam Samsayam Yogam.
uttishta bharata.
Uttishta Bharata.
Yes.
Tasmad
Tasmad sambhutam hitastha gyana snatmanah
Chitvainam sanchayam yogam.
hitvainam sanchayam yogam uttishta bharata. So now Krishna is saying the last flow, tasmad, that's why ajnana sambhutam, out of all ignorance. Ajnana is ignorance. Out of all ignorance, what hitastam is in your heart. Gyan as in atmana. Whatever ajnan is in your heart, what do you have to do? Chitvam. It is cut off. How to cut it? By a weapon. Cut it by the weapon of gyan. Cut it by the weapon of gyan. All the sanchaya, all the doubts, and stand up and fight. That is what here Krishna has spoken in the last two, 41 and 40 shlokas. Now Arjun, he's an archer. He plays with bow. Yeah. And Krishna is saying, take the sword and cut the doubt by the sword of knowledge. Now here he has to fight, and so basically there are two meanings of it. What Krishna is trying to say is, there is an internal fight and there is an external fight. External fight, he's standing in the battlefield and he has to kill the enemy. But what is his state? He says, no, I cannot fight because all are my relatives. How can I fight with them? So he is looking everything from the outer eye, from the external perspective. What Krishna is trying to tell him, that the doubts that you have in your mind, you have to cut that down. You have to buy the knowledge. What knowledge? That you are not this body, you are soul. You have to do your prescribed duty to save the dharma. You are a kshatriya. Your duty is to save the dharma. At this point of time, you are standing here to save the dharma. So take the sword. That sword is a metaphorical sword of knowledge, and cut it, and cut the doubts which is arising in your mind, right? So that you can stand up and fight. That is what Krishna is telling him. Now, so Krishna is asking him to see the vision, extend the vision from the external to the internal. Now, this is where Gita is the universality of Gita is there. Now, Gita was spoken 5,000 years ago on the battlefield. Yeah. So it's not necessarily that we are there even today or even after 5,000 years. Anytime, Gita is always for everyone, because it is not about external fight. It talks about the internal fights that we are having, the internal doubts that we have. And Gita has an answer and an explanation how you can actually come out of those internal struggles that you are going through. By Krishna shows the way. Yeah. So it is not the external fight. The internal fight that we are going through is what Krishna also explains how you can come out of it. And that is why Gita is always valid and will remain valid always. Okay. So now let's go back to the fifth chapter, first shlok. Sanyasam karmanam Krishna punaryogam cha shansasi yachaya etayorekam tanme bruhi sunishchita. So now we understood why the confusion was there, because of the last thing where Krishna said Arjun is not able to understand more than renunciation and work, and where Krishna is asking him Yog sannyasa karmanam means you have to sannyas karmana, reactions of work. You have to renounce that and get in connect with the God and do your work. That is what, and by the knowledge, by the sword of cut all the doubts and stand up and fight, right? So let's go to the next slok. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
श्रीभगवानुवाच
Sannyasah Karma Yogascha
संन्यास कर्म योगश्च
Nishreyas Karava Vibho
निःश्रेयस्करावुः
Tayostu Karma Sannyasat
तयोस्तु कर्म संन्यासात्
Atkarma Yoga Vishishyate
कर्मयोग विशिष्यते
Sannyasah Karma Yogascha
संन्यास कर्म योगश्च
Nishreyas Karava Ubho
निःश्रेयस्करावुः
Tayostu Karma Sannyasat
तयोस्तु कर्म संन्यासात्
Karma Yogo Vishishyate
कर्मयोगो विशिष्यते
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
संन्यास कर्म योगश्च
Sannyasah Karma Yogascha
निःश्रेयस कर उभौ
Nishreyas Karavubhau
तयोस्तु कर्म संन्यासात्
Tayostu Karma Sannyasat
कर्मयोगो विशिष्यते
Karma Yogo Vishishyate. Now, Shri Bhagavan Vacha, what Krishna says. Sannyasa Karma Yogascha. Sannyasa is what? The renunciation of work. Yeah, there is a path of Gyan Yoga. Karma Yogascha. Karma Yoga is what? Work in devotion. Cha. Both. Nishreyas Karavibhu. Both are good for liberation. Krishna explains to him both. Whether it is a renunciation of work or it is a karma yoga, which is the devotion, work in devotion. Both are good for liberation. Tayostu. But out of the karma sannyasat. Karma yoga vishishyate. But work in devotional service. Karma yoga is work in devotional service is better than renunciation of work. Which is better? Karma yoga is better than renunciation of work. So what Krishna says, let's read in the English. The personality of God had replied,
The personality of God had replied,
the renunciation of work
the renunciation of work
and work in devotion,
and work in devotion
both are good for liberation.
both
are
are
both for liberation.
But of the two,
But of the two,
work in devotional service
work in devotional service
is better
is better
than renunciation of work.
than renunciation of work.
Okay. Now, as you know, we talked about 4 margs. In Gita, Krishna talks about there are different marg to approach the final destination, which is Krishna. So one is a Gyan Yoga, one is a Karma Yoga, one is a Dhyana Yoga, and one is a Bhakti Yoga. There are 4 here. Now here he's talking about the first Gyan Yoga and Karma Yoga. He's saying you take any path, finally you will reach there. Yeah. Now, you would have heard from people, you would have heard from people, someone saying, oh, this world is full of problems. And whatever you do, you're going to get some or other reactions. So best is renounce everything, go away. Yeah, that is one sort of arguments that people do. Others say, no. The right way to live is, that is one set of people. Other set of people say, no. The right way to live is do your karma. Yeah, when we do all our duties properly and we do everything properly, then definitely we'll get liberated. Yeah, so this is how the different schools of thoughts or different people, the way people think, right? So it is if you look at it is not against each other, which one is better, what it is basically balancing both. Yeah, because there are so many different type of people may have a different sort of thought process because of the way they are grown up, because of their past karmas, because what is comfortable to them, and because at what level they are at. Yeah, so it is different paths are given by Krishna. Whichever is easy, they can take it up. Whichever they find comfortable, they can take it up. Yeah, but when you talk about renunciation, what happens when you're talking about a Gyan Yogi? To come to a Gyan Yogi, also you have to be highly purified to reach at the Gyan level, to understand that you are not this body, but you are the soul, and you have to start doing activity for the soul. Now, when such a, and then what happens, they renounce and go. When they renounce and go, and then you have to, they start searching for what? Who am I? They start searching for who am I? What is the purpose? Why I am born here? Why is this happening to me? So all these questions they have in their mind, they want to come out of the, in the web they are in. They renounce and try to go to a secluded place and try to find these answer. That is behavior of some people, right? And when they try to find this answer, finally, by a lot of research research, when they do their researching, they will finally come to know that, oh, okay, they are basically, I am Brahmas, Aham Brahmasmi. I am basically Brahma. I am a part of, I'm a soul, a part of the bigger, I'm a soul. That is what they'll finally understand. And once you have understand that, then either they'll stop there, or the way, we talked about the story, how you see from the plane, how you are seeing the two things. When they've achieved Aham Brahmasmi, either they'll stop there. That is then not the end. You have to go further. When they still go and do the research further, they'll realize that there's something beyond. Yeah. Brahma is what? It is the light. It is the effulgence of the Lord. It is basically the effulgence that you see is the light, which is Brahma. And when you still go further, what happens? You actually see the God. Yeah. So finally, after all the research and analysis and all the study, which is a long path, they'll find out what exactly they are looking for, which is finally Krishna or Vishnu. Yeah. That is the path of Gyan. Now, a karma yogi, when you are doing a nishkam karma yoga with devotion, what is happening? You know your objective. Yeah, you know that, okay, you are actually working, you are doing your work with renunciation, with detachment, and offering everything to Krishna. So right from beginning, and doing this from down, you are getting purified. You are working, you are getting purified. And if you continue doing that, you are actually, it's like, watering the root of the plant directly. And in the Gyan yogi case, you are actually searching and finding out where exactly the root of the plant is. So Gyan renunciation path is very difficult. It's long and very difficult. It may take multiple years to reach it. But from a karma, if you are going, you actually know, and you are directly already started your work. And it's easy because even staying in a Grihastha ashram, you can continue doing that. So it becomes much easier than the life of a yogi, right? So that is why Krishna says, that's why he says that Karma Yogi Vishishtade. Karma Yoga is better than Sannyas Yoga, right? Now we go to the next shlok. Geya Nitya Sannyasi.
नित्य सन्यासी
Yo na dveshti na kakshati.
यो न तेस्ति न कांक्षति
Nirdvandvo hi mahabaho.
निर्बन्धो हि महाबाहो
Sukham bandhat pramuchyate.
सुखं बन्धात् प्रमुच्यते
Geya Nitya Sannyasi.
ज्ञेयः स नित्यसन्न्यासी
Yo na dveshti na kakshati.
यो न द्वेष्टि न काङ्क्षति
Nirdvandvo hi mahabaho.
निर्बन्धो हि महाबाहो
Sukham bandhat pramuchyate.
सुखं बन्धात् प्रमुच्यते ज्ञेयः स नित्यसन्न्यासी
Geya nitya sannyasi.
यानो द्वेष्टि न कंसति
Yo na dveshti na kakshati.
निर्बन्धो हि महाबाहो
Nirdvandvo hi mahabaho.
सुखं बन्धत् प्रमुच्यते
Sukham bandhat pramuchyate. So Geya sa nitya sannyasi. One should know that he's a nitya is always a sannyasi. Who is a nitya sannyasi? Yo na dveshti na kankshati. Kankshati is desire and dveshti is hates. Who neither desire to enjoy the fruits of his results of his activity, neither who hates the results of the activity that he gets. He is always, doesn't matter. Both are okay. Nirdvandvo. Dvand dualities we have talked about a lot. Yeah. In happiness and in distress. In all situation. What happens? In all extreme situation, he or she is always balanced. Nirdvandvo, in all the dualities that comes in life's ups and downs that comes, it is always balanced. It's fine. Whatever is happening, it is Krishna's. It's my karma and Krishna's mercy. Whatever he is doing for me is always good. With that faith, because he knows that there cannot be better, there cannot be anyone better than Krishna for the person. Yeah, he's already surrendered, right? So whatever is happening, it doesn't nirbandho, it doesn't matter. Yeah, he's always balanced, always calm. So he Mahabhav. Mahabhav is Arjun. Mahabhav is Arjun. Sukham bandhat pramuchyate. And he is anyway bandhat, but he is already liberated from, he is free from the bondage, right? Now let's read the meaning of it. One who neither hates
One who neither hates
nor desires
nor desires
the fruits of his activities
the fruits of activity
is known to be always renounced.
is known to be always renounced.
Such a person,
Such a person,
free from all dualities,
free from all dualities,
easily overcomes
easily overcomes
material bondage
material bondage
and is completely liberated.
and is completely liberated.
O mighty armed Arjun.
O mighty armed Arjun.
So now we go to the next shlok. Sankhya Yoga Prithak Bala
Sankhya Yoga Upratak Bala
Pravadanti na Pandita
Pravadanti na Pandita
Ekam Apyasthita Samyak
Ekam Apyasthita Samyak
Ubhyor Vindate Phalam.
Ubayor Vindate Phalam
Sankhya Yoga Prithak Bala
Sankhya Yoga Upratak Bala
Pravadanti na Pandita
Pravadanti na Pandita
Ekam Apyasthita Samyak
Ekam Apyasthita Samyak
Ubhyor Vindate Phalam.
Ubhyor Vindate Phalam
Sankhya Yoga Prathak Bala
Sankhya Yoga Prithak Bala
Pravadanti na Pandita
Pravadanti na Panditaha
Ekam Apya Asti
Samyak Ekam Apyasthita Samyak
Ubhayo Vindate Phalam
Ubhyor Vindate Phalam. Now here he says, Krishna says, Sankhya and Yoga. Now what are the two paths? One is Sankhya is Sankhya Yoga and Yoga is Karma Yoga, right? Sankhya Yoga and Prithak means different. Prithak is different. Bala is child. So only the child or the ignorant thinks that Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga are different. Yeah, are different, right? Pravadanti na Pandita, not the Pandit. Pandit means those who are intelligent. Those who are intelligent, they don't think they are different. Ekamapya sthita samyak. What happens is, those who are actually learned, they very well know that whichever path you take, finally you will reach the same destination. Okay, now let's read the meaning of it. Only the ignorant speak of
Only the ignorant speak of
devotional service,
devotional service,
Karma Yoga,
Karma Yoga,
as being different
as being different
from the analytical study of material world,
from the analytical study of the material world,
which is Sankhya.
which is Sankhya.
Those who are actually learned
Those who are actually learned
say that he
say that he
who applies himself well
who applies himself well
to one of these paths
to one of these paths
achieves the results of both,
achieves the results of both.
right? So now, how we to understand this? Sankhya. What is Sankhya? Sankhya Yoga, which is Gyan Yoga. What happens in this process? It is an analytical study of material world. This world. So this world is made up of 24 elements. This world is made up of 24 elements. Now, what does a Jnani does? What does a Sankhya Yogi does? He starts analyzing. He's in search. He's in a search mode. He wants to know, who am I? Right? He doesn't know that, as Krishna says that, each and every, all of is a part and parcel of Krishna. Yeah. So he is still in search. Who am I? Why am I here? He's in search. And what he's doing, he's looking at all the elements. And the process he follows is elimination process. I am not this. 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 Finally, he eliminates everything and then say, okay. Then it means I am this. And so this is, it's a lot of elimination, long process which is followed. Yeah. And finally, he understands who is this. And finally, after doing, he looks at what exactly the goal. So once he understands who am I, then he starts looking at the goal. What is the goal? Like finally what? And finally, he will go to the ultimate goal, which is Vishnu or Krishna. So that is what is the Sankhya process of the elimination that is followed. And the ultimate goal is reaches the Vishnu. A Karma Yogi, right from beginning, he is doing the Nishkam Phal Yoga. He knows that I am part and parcel of Krishna, and he is doing work accordingly with a detachment. Now, the first one, the Sankhya Yoga, is basically the process of detachment from the matter. You go for renunciation. Renunciation is what? Detachment from the material world. They follow the process of detachment from the material world, renunciation, and then search what it is. Who am I? Right? Whereas the Karma Yogi goes for attachment. It goes for attachment to Krishna. Yeah. So his goal is clear. He knows who am I, and then he is trying to connect and live the life accordingly. So it becomes an easier way of living than a renunciate way, right? Yeah. So ultimate goal. So what is common between them? The common between them is the goal, final goal is common. That is why someone who thinks that you know what it is, because ultimate goal is same, that is why if it is different, finally you are reaching at the same goal, whether you reach like this or you reach like this, it is the same. Yeah, only the process is long or short, right? So in one case, what is happening? In the Sankhya Yoga, you are finding out where exactly is the root of the tree. And the other thing is, you're watering the root of the tree so that the tree becomes bigger. That is the difference, right? Now we go to the next shlok. Yeah. Next shlok is Yat Sankhye Prapyate Sthanam
Yet Sankhye Prapyate Sthanam
Tad Yogairapi Gamyate
Tadyogairapi Gamyate
Ekam Sankhyam Cha Yogam Cha
Ekam Sankhya Yogam Cha
Yah Pashyati Sa Pashyati
Ya Pashyati Sa Pashyati
Yat Sankhya Prapyate Sthanam
Yat Sankhye Prapyate Sthanam
Tad Yogairapi Gamyate
Tadyogairapi Gamyate
Ekam Sankhyam Cha Yogam Cha
Ekam Sankhya Yogam Cha
Yah Pashyati Sa Pashyati
Ya Pashyati Sa Pashyati Yat Sankhye Prapyate Sthanam
Yat Sankhye Prapyate Sthanam
Tad Yogairapi Gamyate
Tad Yogairapi Gamyate
Ekam Sankhya Yogam Cha
Ekam Sankhyam Cha Yogam Cha
Ya Pashyati Sa Pashyati
Yah Pashyati Sa Pashyati Yeah, Yat Sankhye Prapyate Sthanam. Yet whatever Sankhye is the Sankhya Yogi. Yeah, whatever Sthan is the place. Prapyate means gets. Whatever place the Sankhya, the position that the Sankhya Yogi will reach, that Yoga will get. Same, the Karma Yogi will also reach there, right? Ekam Sankhyam Cha Yogam Cha. Sankhya and Yoga is one. Someone who Pashyati means to see. Someone who sees that Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga is one, but if someone is seeing that, is actually seeing. Understood? Now let's read the meaning of this. One who knows that the position reached by means of analytical study
that the position reached by means of analytical study
can also be attained by devotional service,
can also be attained by devotional service,
and who therefore sees analytical study
sees analytical study
and devotional study service to be on the same level,
and devotional service to be on the same level,
sees things as they are.
sees things as they are.
So with this, we'll end today's class, and let's chant the Mahamantra 3 times. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna.